This conference will now be recorded.
You're using for your website. Thank you for sharing. Next on the list, we have Gary. Gary, if you could please unmute yourself or use the chat to share a bit about you and how we can help you tonight.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and we can see you.
All right. My name is Gary. I've done 4 websites. I did one as a test with somebody, a friend of mine, and I developed 3 of my own for my high school and for my horseshoe club and for my tennis club. So I built them from scratch and put all the pictures on and all kinds of dialogue and so on. My high school site has MailChimp attached to it, where people can log into the site and add their name to the website, which automatically updates MailChimp for all my mailing. So I've been doing it now for about 4 years. So I just want to know about new tricks, some new plugins, some ideas of how to do a better job on the sites and get some ideas.
Sounds great. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming by.
Okay,
Great. You're up next. A friendly face to see. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
You know what? It's been a great week. I must say 2021 has been awesome thus far.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
So I attended a meeting with the Hamilton WordPress group, 3 pages in 30 minutes.
How was that?
That was good. It was good. It's probably the most beneficial meeting I've had so far.
Wow, that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot.
So
So
now
did they use Gutenberg?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
So it was good.
Awesome.
So now I haven't had a chance to put into practice what I learned yet, but so I'm just going to hang out tonight and see what other tips I can gather along the way, and hopefully I'll be able to get my website up and running.
Sounds good. Sounds good. It's always good to have you on board. Always good to have you on board. Next up, we have Divi Joki. If you are available, if you want to unmute yourself or use the chat to, again, intro yourself, tell us a little bit about the work that you do, and you are our special guest of the day. So yes, floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. Excuse me. Hi, everyone. My name is Dobijoki Emanuela, and I am the program manager for the Connect Youth Mentoring Program at Markham African Caribbean Canadian Association. And we have some of our young people and mentors joining us today for this session. So we look forward to learning from all of you. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Next up, we have Eric. Floor is yours.
So I'm Eric. I'm in Dallas, Texas. First time joining you guys, but I have joined Hamilton a few times, and I've actually been joining groups around the country, around the world. I run a group here in Dallas. Been running WordPress for myself since 2009. Primarily specialize in security and email deliverability, but do a bit of WooCommerce as well.
Perfect. So I would definitely love to hear your thoughts on some of the stuff Harish has going on. That would be great if you're willing and open to share. All right, Lance, you're up next. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name.
No, you totally got it right.
Awesome.
I'm Lance. I'm calling outside of New Haven, Connecticut. And I'm just really kind of here to learn. I'm a graphic designer. Occasionally I have to make a website, so I've been trying to learn as much as I possibly can, and thanks for having me.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Janelle, I think your name is so familiar. I think we've connected before, but floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I am OT with MACA, as well the Connect Youth program. I'm looking to develop a website. I'm not sure if WordPress is the platform I should use as yet. So I'm hoping to learn about WordPress if it's something that can work for me.
Sounds good. Pleasure to have you here. Pleasure to have you here. Monica, floor is yours.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Today
I just
is
started.
Thursday.
I've just been reading a bit about WordPress, and so I started a website just from scratch. I'm finding that although I'm learning some things, there's things I don't know. Like I need to, I guess, compress my photos. I need to just organize my page better. I'm not sure what the difference is between post and page. I may be getting them mixed up. So I'm just here to learn a little bit more, and hopefully uh, in the long run, be able to build a website. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate you. Veron, you're up next.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Veron. I work alongside Dobajoki and Charmaine with the Connect Youth program. As mentioned earlier by Dobajoki, hopefully some of our students are here, and I'm just here just to soak up some information. And maybe I don't have any plans in the near future to run a website, but who knows? It's still good information to have.
That is 100% right. Thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate you. Kathy, another familiar face. How are you doing today? How is 2021 be treating you?
Hi, Christina. I'm doing well, thank you. Good. Things are starting to pick up a little bit. I'm getting some new potential clients.
Yay! That's always good.
Yep. So I'm just starting my web business. I've been using WordPress for almost 2 years now, and yeah, definitely looking at new ways to improve my processes and find best practices. And I will be joining you tomorrow in your Divi group for the first time. I don't know if you remember, I am an Elementor user, and there's an opportunity to work with a client who's using Divi, so I'm looking forward to learning that as well now.
That sounds good. We'll be more than happy to help you with that. And tomorrow, again, it's another site clinic, but specifically for Divi. So if you do have any specific questions, we'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you so much for coming by. And if you look in the chat, we do have the intro for Yi. So they say that their name is Yi. I am new and a beginner to WordPress, and this meetup is for beginners and experts and everybody in between. So thank you so much for coming out and for spending time with us. I think we've gone around the whole room, so that means it's my time to introduce myself. My name is Christina Gwira, and I am the founder and lead web designer at Noya Designs. I started Noya in 2016 after I was freelancing in graphic and web design since 2010. So in total, I have about a decade's worth of experience working with WordPress, as well as working in various forms of digital marketing, from search engine optimization to e-commerce with WooCommerce and Shopify, as well as having a pretty profitable YouTube channel, which I use SEO to power. And I work at the co-working space supported by the city of Brampton, who is the sponsor for our meetups. And I do meetups in my spare time. I'm the founder of the Divi Brampton meetup, as well as the Brampton WordPress meetup. And in my spare time, I love to eat vanilla ice cream. I play piano, and my favorite city is the city of Chicago. So that's a bit about me. We have quite a few people here today, so I do want to go and make sure we touch upon everybody's concerns. So I think that there were 2 questions on the meetup page, so they do get priority, but I know one is from a person who won't be attending tonight. So the second person, and the way that these meetups work, just so everybody knows, is you will have the opportunity to ask a question, and then as a group, we'll try and solve your problem or answer your question together. So this is a very open forum. We do ask that everybody respects one another. There are also young people on today's platform, so please keep the swearing to a minimal or not at all. That's more of a note for myself than for you guys, to be honest. So let's be nice to each other. If you have comments, you can either unmute yourself when we are screen sharing, or you can utilize the chat. Either or works. I will be monitoring the chat, and these meetings are all recorded, so they will be put up on YouTube by Friday. So on Friday, you'll have access to both the recording for today's session as well as the recording for tomorrow's Divi session. So I'm just going to go and check the Meetup page to answer the first question there. And then after that, we're just going to go in order. Okay, so first up on the docket is Gary. So to answer your question, you said you were looking for more ideas on how to better use WordPress and recommended plugins. You needed some answers on how the media library reports attached and non-attached items. Sometimes I delete an unattached item only to find that image missed on the site. So Gary, I don't know if you want to share your screen or if you want me to share my screen of your website. And what we can do is we can do an audit, a live audit. And I definitely want to open the floor to everyone who wants to maybe provide some feedback, provide some advice. Just one more, I think there's 2 people on here who just joined in. So we'll have them also introduce themselves. So Valak, you can go first, and then we'll end the introductions on Paul, and then Gary will get right into auditing your website. So Valak, if you'd like to either use the chat box or mute yourself, introduce yourself, tell us a bit about your story with WordPress, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you. Nice to meet everybody. My name is Valak. I just go by Val.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easier. So my story with WordPress, I dabbled around WordPress maybe about a year and a half ago, and I was trying to create a website, and it didn't quite work out well. I'm back on WordPress now. I'm trying to figure it out. There's a lot of different functionality. It's like I use a lot of different plugins, so I'm trying to figure out which theme and website builder is best to use. And I'm just here to kind of learn and share the experience. I am a little bit younger, so I guess I have a good sense of technology, but I'm still not great at it. So I just yeah. Sorry, Christina, a quick question for you. Is there so you do a website audit, do you do like a one-on-one audit, or how does that work?
So I do provide one-on-one audits outside of Meetup, but for today's session, if you would like a website audit, you can just let us know. We're going to start with Gary first because he put his question up, but we can definitely get around it. If you do want a site audit and we have enough time, we can definitely do that for you during today's session as well. So would you like a site audit?
Yeah, yes, please. Yeah. Whenever you get a chance.
If you could just put your URL in the chat box, just so I have it noted down, we'll definitely make sure we get to it.
Thank you so much. Awesome.
You're welcome, Val. And Paul, you'll be the last intro for tonight, so we can get started. But yeah, introduce yourself, tell us a bit about your journey with WordPress, and we'll get right into the audit.
Okay, thanks, Christina, and good evening, everyone. I think I've been doing WordPress. I came to start using WordPress, I think 2 years now. Prior to that, I've probably invested over $20,000 over 10 years with my web designer. I've built a lot of websites in terms of business-wise, and most times I think I'm always disrespected because you have this designer. You know, I take many hours to draw my plans and everything, and you have the web designer. You know, they kind of have their own way of doing. You know, just decide to do something different. So the frustration forced me to learn, and I think it's much easier than I actually expected. You know, once you watch a few videos on YouTube, and maybe you've previously played around Photoshop and some other programs, you kind of feel it doesn't feel too complicated. So I have probably built maybe close to 15 or 20 websites for myself, for my own stuff, and you know, I'm still learning, but you know, just I think it's just a better world than where I was 2-3 years ago. Yeah.
Cool. So we hope you get some further insights for your web design journey, and thank you for sharing. All right, Gary, the floor is, oh, sorry, hold on one second. Sorry, I muted you there. What was the last part?
Yeah, sorry, just to say, I mean, I've been to these sessions a few times last year, and I think it's been, a bit helpful, interacting with other people, getting to learn one or two things. So I would say, it's good to see that, this session is holding again. I've not been around for some time. I'm not even sure if this has been held for some time now, but I'm glad to be here, and good to see that, there are more people coming out today, and hope we'll be able to learn one or two things. Yeah.
For sure, thank you. Yeah, today has been an amazing turnout for sure. So thank you for your kind words. We appreciate it. And to everyone who just entered in, thank you so much for coming through. We're actually going to get started on the site clinic now. So if you do have any questions, if you could please leave it in the chat box and I'll get through them. That would be a great place for us to start. And Gary, floor is yours. So I'm going to unmute you. I'm also going to share my screen because I do have your website loaded up. Yeah, so how can we help you today? I noticed one of the questions you had on the meetup page was about lost images. So let's tackle that first.
Okay, on the media library, I have actually loaded up in my background right now. On the media library where it has attached and not attached, when you attach an image to a page, it comes up with that page number that the image is attached to. So I found that sometimes I go to clean up my media library and I delete an item that is unattached, only to find out that later on that I've deleted an image that was on my page. I found that it's missing. I have to go back and re-enter it. How valid is that media library, and how official is it? Like when it says attached, it really is attached to something. When it's not attached, I mean it's just not attached. So I find to delete it and it's gone. So how does that work exactly, that media library?
So in WordPress, I would say that you are right in saying that them using attached and not attached is a bit misleading. What that means is simply this image was uploaded to this particular page or post. It doesn't mean that it's linked. It could not. It may even be that you've uploaded an image to a particular post, but you never actually inserted it into that page or post. WordPress will still note it down as being attached to that page. So now if you do go and delete it, and let's say you have it showing up somewhere else, then you will run into the issue that you're running into. So I would say not to rely so heavily on the attached or not attached, but more so it might just be a matter of manually checking pages, like literally just going to the front end and saying, okay, does it appear here or not? So I would say, unfortunately, the attached, not attached is not really a good indicator of as to whether or not an image is actually in use on the site.
Okay.
And one of the things that I like to do, especially if I'm going to delete images or anything for that matter, I have a plugin that I use that's supported on most hosts called Broken Link Checker. It's currently supported by WPMU Dev. And I like to run that because if I delete an image and it turns out that oops, at least I get a notification instead of waiting for the end user to tell me that there's missing images on my page.
Okay.
And having a good backup before you delete anything,
right,
is obviously always a good choice.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
And the pictures are important to me because I'm a professional photographer as well. So I photograph a lot of stuff, and this is my horseshoe page that I'm working with now. So I've got pictures of all the players, all the awards, everything's on here. So I do all the photography. So I'm looking for also a good photo page or a good photo plugin. I've got a couple there that are working fine. If you go to the section where it says image gallery over here, right, got it. It shows I've got, these are all the people in my list. So if I click on this image here, it brings up the all my players.
Nice.
So it takes a while to load up, but there's 132 players on this page.
Wow.
So I've done all the photography for that, and these are all the guys that play on my horseshoe league. And then
Cool.
so we go back and forth, and so all their names are there. I've got the captions are all there, so I figured all that out. So it's a pretty good thing. But I'm looking. I did this in the Gutenberg.
Oh,
And
wow.
there's
Nice.
also the classic one. There's also a classic one, but I'm not sure which one's the best use for the pictures. So I'm just looking for someone that has some real idea on how pictures should be displayed. But this looks pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, some Monica in the chat said, well done. It does look really good. And I have to comment on your photography. Your photos look really, really good. So some ideas that came to my mind for managing images. To be honest with you, I do not have a recommended gallery plugin. So the floor is open. If anyone is using a gallery plugin that they like, please put it in the chat for Gary.
Next gen. Sorry about that.
I have that.
Tripping over my tongue. Next gen gallery is great.
Yeah.
It gives you a lot of flexibility.
Okay.
The block editor has a pretty good gallery built in. So you could look at that.
There is the block editor. That's the block.
Yeah, depending upon your needs. If you're looking to just create a gallery of, hey, here's all the people on the team, or here's all of this, the native block editor is probably a great place to start. When you're starting to look at, I want to do fancy things, I want to sell the photos. Next gen has add-ons to allow you to sell photos and create slideshows and all that fancy stuff.
Because I've got next gen loaded. I know that I've got that on another page somewhere. So I've been trying to use different ones to see which one works the best. But so far, this looks okay. I want to see if there's something better. That's all.
Yeah. So what else? The first thing I noticed when you mentioned about optimizing the gallery is I would recommend running your images before you upload them through this website called tinypng.com. Okay. And so I'm hoping that you don't just download the JPEGs from the SD card and upload them to the site. What you should do is save them for web in either, I'm not sure if Lightroom does it, but I know that Photoshop does it, and then uploading them to this website. So that will compress the images, making them smaller and making the page load faster.
I've got a couple of programs. I got a couple of programs like Picasa and Corel Draw I use for all my images, and I can reduce them all myself. So I can do that all ahead of time.
Yeah, so what I'd recommend is do that, and then also run the images through here as well, just to kind of make things a little bit more sleeker. Or if you wanted to go the plugin route, there's so many different plugins out there, but I think that the easiest one, which is also free, is called Smush. And that allows you to do what tinypng.com does in terms of making images smaller, making them more compressed, but it does it directly in WordPress. So
how do you spell Smush?
Yeah, Smush is great. There's a new one on the market that you should look at.
U-S-H?
S-N-U-S-H.
Okay,
and it's
great.
by WPMU. So,
yeah, WPMU Dev. The other one you should look at, and this is a new one on the market, Short Pixel Adaptive Images.
Short Pixel Adaptive Images, okay.
Yeah, so what it'll do is if somebody hits your site from mobile, it'll actually send them a mobile-sized image instead of sending them the full size and downgrading it.
Okay, good idea. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Okay, that's good for me for now.
Awesome, awesome. Glad we could help. And thank you so much, Eric, for coming through. Okay, so that was the first question that we had on the Meetup page. So I took some notes while you guys were all introducing yourself. So I'm going to go through this first. So topics we're going to cover over the next, I'm going to say hour, include MailChimp, plugin recommendations. So if everyone wants to kind of go through their WordPress and bring out their favorite plugin, that's a favorite question I always ask at a Meetup. We're then going to talk about some WooCommerce plugins. We have some job board topics to cover, differences between pages and posts. We have a website audit, and then we'll go right onto the floor. And then we also have questions in the chat. So let me buffer up the chat. So that we've got a pretty packed meetup. Let's start from here. Just want to make sure I'm buffered up. Okay, so MailChimp for Suresh. I think some people have MailChimp installed in their websites. Yeah, so we're going to go around the room, and if you could share your experience working with WordPress or the plugin you're using to integrate WordPress into your website, that would be fantastic. Floor is open, so you can unmute yourself or you can type it in the chat.
There is a MailChimp plugin.
Yeah.
All you go to WordPress, look for the plugins called MailChimp. It integrates your site to your MailChimp program. So what happens is people can have a table set up or a registration table set up. People enter the names, and the actual data goes straight into your MailChimp database, which then you can use for your mailings later on. It's really, really good. Works great.
Awesome. And is that just is it just called MailChimp?
It's called MailChimp. Look for the plugin MailChimp. It installs on your WordPress site, and then from there there's a code number. You have to link the two together with a code, some sort of long code. And you put that code in, and it attaches MailChimp to your WordPress site, and you're good to go.
Yeah, so there's several of them. If you're running WooCommerce, there's a specific one for WooCommerce called MailChimp for WooCommerce. Yep. If you're not running WooCommerce, the one by Ibera or the one by Yikes, both of those are excellent.
Awesome, thank you, Eric.
And somebody threw up that abbreviation, and that's the one by Ibera I believe. Yeah.
So everyone, just so that you know, we also do save the chat, because in the chat we have resources and notes in there. So right now we have a running list of some of the plugins that are being used and have been recommended. So right now we have Next Gen Gallery in there. We have the default MailChimp plugin in here, and we also have the MailChimp for WooCommerce plugin. Does anyone else want to share which plugin or what they're using to manage their MailChimp at this time? Floor's open. Okay. So I personally use Bloom to handle email opt-ins for my clients. I like it because it's, number one, it can handle 15 plus different email marketing solutions. So MailChimp, ConvertKit, I think it's 19 is the actual number. I've also used it to integrate Zoho CRM with my client's website. So that's what I use. And so what you want to do is, actually what I'll do is I'm going to share my screen and show you a little bit of what you would need to do to integrate your MailChimp into WordPress. So just give me 1 second. I'm just going to go into the back end of my MailChimp account, because this is something that you're going to need to do. And essentially you need to create an API key in MailChimp to be able to integrate with any of these plugins. So it's not just a matter of logging in or installing these plugins. What you want to do is you want to go click on your name, if I remember this correctly, and then you want to click on account, and then you want to go to extras and then API keys. So most of these plugins will require you to create an API key for that particular website. So if you see here for my personal website, ChristinaGwira.com, this is my API key that I use to connect MailChimp with my website, specifically the Bloom plugin. So the reason you need to create this is because most of these plugins are going to ask for either some form of you logging into MailChimp, or they're going to ask for the API key. And this is a step a lot of people either don't know or it's something they get stuck on. So depending on which plugin you install, you may have to create an API key, and that would help you. And once you plug in the API key, what will then happen is you will be able to now select the specific list you want people to go into. So you might have a module, or you might have a widget where you can select the list. If you have multiple lists in your MailChimp account, you will be able to now select that list once you've connected those two together. So I hope that was able to help you out, Suresh, when it comes to MailChimp and anybody else who's using MailChimp. Just to give a very brief overview, MailChimp is an email marketing software and solution. So take, for example, if everyone remembers around the holidays, you were getting all of these emails from every single business and brand on the planet, basically telling you that, you know, save 30% or get 50% off. Or maybe when you go to a website, they will send you a coupon, but you give them your email address first. Solutions and software like MailChimp, ConvertKit, what's that one, Klaviyo, etc. They're email marketing solutions and software, which basically collects email addresses, and it uses a system like lists, or they may call them sheets, etc., to basically store and collect people's email addresses. And then you can use their design tools to be able to send creative or text-only emails to your whole list. And so it's very important to be able to have an email opt-in on your website. The reason for that is social media, we don't own it, you don't own it, I don't own it. Tomorrow, Mark Zuckerberg could be like, I mean, if you look at what's going on with Google and Australia right now, Apple is fighting Facebook right now. It's very, very important to have your own platform that is your own. And building an email list is one of the ways to do that. And having your own website on code which you own, aka WordPress, also helps with that as well. So just to give people in the room who may not know what an email marketing software is, that's what MailChimp is, and that's what it can do for you and your business. Okay, so
just add to that, MailChimp also has a feature where it tells you who opened your email, when they opened it, how many times they opened it, what country they opened it in, all that detail, and who didn't open, how many people bounced, how many people clicked on your site. There's all kinds of data behind it that gives you all kinds of information about who you're sending the email to. So it's really powerful. Yes,
100%. And that kind of data, especially when you're doing high-level e-commerce, like Harris is going to be doing very soon, you need that data because you can actually segment your list further and further, and maybe say that everybody who spent $100, send them this promo, people who spent $50, send them this promo, etc. So building an email list, if you are a business owner, even if you're a blogger, it's very, very important because you can connect directly with your consumer and have control over that language. Okay, so lightning round.
And another thing about using like MailChimp or Constant Contact or any of those is that they've got a system in place that if somebody doesn't like your email, they can unsubscribe. So it really cuts down on the spam issues and things like that, that people marking your stuff problematic.
Yes, indeed. So they're super powerful, and you do want to be on their right side. For one, I think I had one of my accounts blacklisted one time when I was a rookie in the game. I sent an email out to every single contact who had emailed me since 2014, and someone actually reported me. Don't do that. It's illegal, and it makes people upset. So lightning round, everybody needs to participate. We're going to go and share our favorite plugin of 2021. So because I have here the next point on our list is plugins, and this is always a question everybody asks every single meetup. What's the plugin? What's the favorite plugin? So pens and papers out. We're going to go around the room, share with us your favorite plugin of 2021. So mine is actually, I don't have one, but I'm gonna just like say one. I think the one that I've been loving for a very long time is called Bulk Page Creator. And over the past couple of months, I have been making a lot of multilingual websites. I'm about to start a new one next month. So Bulk Page Creator, it's an older plugin, I will say, but it is a utility plugin, meaning as soon as I'm done using it, I uninstall it because I don't need it. But it helps me duplicate pages. It helps me create pages on the fly. So that's my favorite plugin for now. Hannah, you're up. What is your favorite plugin of 2021? You could unmute yourself or use the chat.
Well, I'm not shy. I'll share. I don't actually have a single one. I've got 3 that have been really killer for me.
Yeah, pick one. We got a lot of people in the room, so just give me one.
Well, so they all tie together. It's OMGF, Chaos, and Google Tag Manager. OMGF and Chaos bring your Google fonts and your Google Analytics local, and Google Tag Manager because of the conversion to GA4.
Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
My
Suresh,
favorite
can you
plugin is
share Gary's
Flipbook.
here?
Flipbooks.
Flipbooks.
I use it for a PDF. On my website, we have yearbooks that contain all the stats and details of all the players for the whole season. 148 pages, this yearbook. Flipbooks will allow you to go in and create a flipbook to create all the pages so you can read it like a book. So it comes up on your screen and the pages flip across just like you're reading a book, one page at a time. You can download the pages into your computer. You can highlight them. You can increase the size of it. All kinds of stuff. It's really, really great. So that's my favorite, Flipbooks.
Awesome. Awesome. Sorry. If you are giving a suggestion for a plugin, can you please make sure to put it in the chat with a link to it on the repo? That would be fantastic, just so we have it for our notes after the meetup. So Gary, Eric, can you please put links to those plugins in the chat? Thank you. Harish, you're up next. What is your favorite plugin of 2021?
I mean, I use a lot of plugins for the e-commerce side of the business.
Yeah.
But I would say one that's really just helped me would be Booster for WooCommerce.
Okay.
It just has like a lot of little intricate things that would help you in a day-to-day for, you know, e-commerce uses. So that would be mine.
Awesome. Thank you. Please make sure to put the link to download it in the chat, please. Thank you. Kwacha, do you want to, I see you're like writing furiously. So do you want to skip this or do you want to share? You're going to skip? All right. Oh, you're muted. Hold on. Sorry, we couldn't hear you there.
Can you tell me what's a plugin and why is it so necessary?
Cool. So plugins, basically, they make WordPress better, long story short, or they add to the default functionality of WordPress. WordPress outside of the box. Oh, I love the chat is going off right now. Please, if you need any resources, the chat, everybody's really contributing really well. So there's lots of plugins in there. This chat will be made available after the session, but if you want to do some research while we're going through, you can check the chat. Everyone's being so helpful by putting the links there. So thank you, everyone. Back to your question, Kwacha. What plugins do is they further extend the default features of WordPress. WordPress, if you just do like a complete basic vanilla installation of WordPress, it can do pages, it can have posts. It's essentially a blog or content management system. But if you want to now turn your CMS into an online store, you can buy or download a plugin to be able to add that functionality to your basic WordPress site. So plugins essentially enable you to do more with the WordPress site than just showcase content. For example, your job board, it's a plugin, right? We're going to find out what plugin that is, but what's making your website a job board? It's actually a plugin, and it probably has several other plugins that support it to make it be able to convert a very basic blog into a job board. So that's why plugins in WordPress are very, very important. I am loving what you guys are doing in the chat right now. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to read some of the chat because there's a lot of plugins coming through. Okay, so Eric, thank you for sharing your plugin, Host Analytics. Lance, thank you for sharing your plugin, all-in-one WP migration. Love it. So that helps with backing up and restoring your website. So if you want to copy your entire WordPress website from site A to site B, that plugin will help with that. Jetpack, yes. So Harris, I'm actually going to talk about Jetpack because that's actually what I use on my store to handle shipping with Canada Post. So that's awesome. Kathy, she brought up Smart Slider 3. And she's using the free version. Boris has put ACY mailing. I used to use that back in the day, but now I use MailChimp. Eric also put host web fonts local. which is great. Gary has also shared 3D flip books for PDF files. Thank you for also providing the explanation, everyone. Doug has provided one magic photo compressing tool to replace GP default of WordPress. Yeah, so there's a lot of plugins in here for you guys to go through. So after tonight's session, if you do want to come back and maybe take a look at that, the chat will be saved on my website, ChristinaGwira.com, and you can come back and watch this entire meetup, as well as download the chat and get the links to that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, let's go back to the list. I think we're making good time. It's still 6 o'clock. All right, so we've done plugins, so let's talk about shipping. So Harris, let's talk about WooCommerce, let's talk about shipping, and what's something that we can help you with today?
I guess my biggest issue, which I'm talking to Eric about privately right now in the chat, is regarding my mail deliverability. So I'm not sure if anyone else here sends emails through their stores. So for example, if you have a user that signs up and becomes a customer, or they complete an order, or their order's finished, right? Your WordPress or your WooCommerce will be sending out like automated emails to those customers, telling them they've signed up or their order's completed or received or whatever. But depending on where your website is hosted, those emails come from your web server where your web is hosted. And if you're using a self-hosted, like a virtual private server, and not something big like GoDaddy or HostGator, your server's emails may actually get rejected by a lot of your customers' email services because your private server has no reputability. So one of my biggest issues right now is that almost all of my servers' emails are getting rejected by the users. So that's one issue, and I want to try to solve that. But my other thing was just wondering what plugins people use for shipping or for tracking, or to allow their users to track their orders or their products. Like, what are the main plugins that you use for your e-commerce stores through WooCommerce?
So for tracking, there's a great tracking plugin available on WooCommerce.com that you might take a look at. It is a paid plugin though. For shipping, free shipping, you can use WooCommerce Services, which was just relabeled as WooCommerce's Tax and Shipping. It's free in the repository. And it handles, I don't know all the places it handles, but it's like 30 countries. So it should cover anybody on here. Depending upon your shipping. If you're shipping Canada Post, you're going to want a different plugin than I do using US Post. But if you're using FedEx, UPS, obviously that's anywhere in the world. There's great plugins out there. There's also one called multi-carrier shipping, I believe, that handles all of that. It'll handle DHL, UPS, Postal Service, ShipStation, a lot of that.
Awesome. Eric, you know the drill. If you can link to the plugins in the chat, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise on that. Harish, have you considered not using your, I was just about to say that, Boris. Yes, it's your domain reputation is what's causing your emails to be blocked. This is something that at Noy Designs we had to go through when we were doing cold outreach through our domains. We had to make sure that our domains had a good authority and a good reputation. So we used a free tool called MX Toolbox to kind of figure out exactly what our domain was doing in the back end. What I would recommend, honestly, and this is something that we did more so as a business, which is something you could consider doing as well, even though we provide services and you provide physical products, is we actually removed our emailing from our web host. So we actually don't use our web host to exactly mxtoolbox.com. We actually don't use our web host at all to send out email. we just find that, especially if you're using shared hosting, if you have your own VPS, your own dedicated / semi-dedicated server, then by all means, I recommend investing the time and the resources into utilizing mail servers on that front. But if this is like a startup, it's something you're trying to get off the ground and prove your first iteration of your product or your service, I would recommend switching your emails to something like G Suite. The reason for that is you're going to basically be piggybacking off of their authority as opposed to using your shared web host, which is never really a good thing. But what I would say, the first thing I would recommend doing is checking out what your domain is actually doing in the backend with a tool like mxtoolbox.com, and then based off of that, making changes accordingly. But I really recommend, and I recommend this to all of my clients as well, to not use the default email / the email server that comes with their hosting, especially if you're using shared hosting, which most people are using. But if I could ask, who is your hosting provider at this time?
Yeah, so to answer your question, no, for my emails to my customers, just to ask them whatever questions I need or go back and forth, like I use a paid Microsoft Outlook email address.
Right.
But from the emails that actually come right from my website, like the automated ones, like congratulations, you've signed up, right? Those are automated ones and they have to come from your server. So I used to be on GoDaddy, but I moved over to a place called DigitalOcean, which is kind of a self-managed place where you kind of have your own virtual server. And because it's your own virtual server, and there's no really reputability there, that's why all my emails are getting blocked.
So when it comes to the email, the first thing you want to do is look into setting up DMARC, DMARC, domain message authentication, routing, and conformance, I believe it stands for. It puts the basically the enforcement on SPF and DKIM. Definitely send through either Amazon SES, Mailgun, SendGrid, something like that. Shared hosting, self-hosted, it's not worth managing your own mail server. Definitely use some kind of reputable relay service. Microsoft and Google both do give you the option, but it depends upon how much email you're sending. Google gives you a limit of, I think, 100 emails in an hour and 1,000 emails in a day. Microsoft is pretty similar, but trying to get support from Microsoft on setting up DMARC is frustrating. You have to know PowerShell.
So if I download, or I already have it, but the WP SMTP plugin, right? I should use that plugin and I kind of link my Microsoft account to that plugin so that all my server's emails are kind of by proxy sent through my Microsoft account. Is that correct?
Yes,
okay.
But you have to make sure that you set it as SMTP and not PHP mail.
Yes, okay. Yeah, it's just a very complicated process to do that linking, and I'm wondering if I make a mistake, maybe there's not going to be any emails sent out.
Yes, absolutely. And if you do go with DMARC, set it in a reporting mode only at first, because otherwise everything stops flowing.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, next up on the list, job board. Kwachi, you're up. Let's see your site. What is your URL? Let's try and figure out what your plugin is. Oh, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Okay, my site is ggb.com. JIJIBEE.
Could you put it in the chat for us, please? So JIBEE. JIBTT.
No. JIJI.
Put it in the chat for us then.
I'm trying.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So after that, we're going to cover the differences between pages and posts. Then we're going to do a website audit for Val. And then we're going to start tackling some of the questions in the chat. So we've got some Elementor questions. What else do we have? We have some questions regarding child themes. Someone moved from Joomla to WordPress. Godspeed. Then we're talking about some CSS, it looks like, with a transparent header. Then we have some questions about PHP 8. Have you put your website in the chat yet? Okay, there.
Yes, I did.
All right, great. Awesome. So let's take a look at this. Well, I will say it loads pretty fast, so good job there.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. All right, cool. So, what seems to be the problem?
My problem is, you see where the keyword and location is?
Here?
No, on top, up.
From here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to be able to split that into country, put a drop-down list, country, state, city, and all that on the location side.
Right.
And on the keyword side, I want to be able to put job keywords like medical, construction, this and that, drop-down list.
Awesome. And you say you don't remember, or you don't know. Okay, so this seems to be the theme that you downloaded, right?
Yeah, it's Job Scout team.
Okay. So do you have the premium version or do you have the free version?
I think it's free.
Okay.
It's free. It came on the WordPress.
All right, cool. So I think this is just a matter of figuring out if this theme will allow you to do that. Because it sounds like it's something that maybe your theme does allow, maybe it doesn't allow. So let's try and figure that out together. So let's see. Perchance, has anybody worked with this theme before? Anyone? No? Okay, cool. Oh dear. Guess that's not really working. So if I'm to be honest with you, it seems like you may want to change themes. Because I'll give an example of a theme that I like to use. It's not it is not a job board theme, but it has a similar premise. It's called Java Directory, and it's actually a theme that I like to use for directories. But on this theme, it enables you and allows you to be able to fully customize, I think even will show you here, fully customize the search on your website. So I think this might be a matter of you picking the wrong theme for what your needs are. So what I'd recommend is probably researching a better theme. There are so many job board plugins out there. There are so many job board themes out there. So this goes back to what you had asked. Okay, what is the importance of a plugin, right? See, there's some functionalities that themes have, and there's always this conversation. Whereas, do you buy or purchase a specialized theme for a specialized purpose, or do you purchase a plugin, which is kind of like a toolkit to do something? I think what you need to do is probably go back to the drawing board and maybe do a bit more research as to what you specifically want to do with your website, and then determine what plugin or theme will work best for you. From looking at what you're looking to do and from also looking at the premium version of this theme, you're probably going to need to custom code this part, this search functionality right here, which is number 2, going to either involve a lot of money when you don't need to, because there's probably definitely 100% better coded job board plugins, there's better coded job board themes that you could probably spend a couple $100 on and get what you're looking for and customize what you need right out of the bat. So let's actually take a look at Theme Forest as an example and see what people are saying. So as an example, here's a theme called Jobify. I don't know if you could see it or not, but it's apparently
Jobify.
Yeah, as an example. See, the thing is, when it comes to building a website, you don't just jump into it and be like, I want to build a website. You have to plan, you have to strategize, you have to see how this website also fits in to your overall business plan. So you probably need to sit down and do some form of planning. I personally like to use like a graph to kind of build out what pages do I need, what features do I need, do people need to be able to pay me on my website, who am I going to use for my payment processor, what are my brand colors, etc., etc. You don't just come to a website and be like, I want to build a website, I want to have a blog, or I want to have an online store, or in your case, I want to have a job board and just download whatever. There has to be some thought behind it, because your website is going to be your #1 digital piece of real estate on the internet. So this is just a simple search into this website. I don't use this website anymore to get themes because I personally and professionally only use the Divi WordPress theme, but this is a great starting place. It's themeforest.net, and this is where you could do some research and see what's out there when it comes to job board themes and or job board plugins. So let's just take a look at this one just to kind of give you an idea of what's out there. So right off the bat, we have keywords, we have location, we can choose a category, right? And it seems like they have a pretty robust search. We have a map up here. We could probably even go further into some of the, so you see here, there's like freelance, full-time internship. It lists all the various features. I think you can even go in fully and describe or see a bit more, etc. And even when you go into the page for this theme, it tells you exactly what you can do with it. It shows you examples. It tells you about the templates and what you can customize. It tells you about the search, etc. So I think you probably need to do a bit more planning for your website and overall your business. I think it's something that people really need to do, where it's like, okay, I have this business idea, let me plan it out, and then let me go and build the website. Not let me build the website and then let me come and build the business. So what I recommend,
that's the way it started. But I was looking for what's easiest and what can I do.
Right.
That's the way I started. By I planned it, but it was what's the easiest and cheapest way.
Every week, my dad comes to me and he's like, Christina, what can we sell? What can we sell every single week? And I'm just like, one week he's selling t-shirts, next week he's selling mugs. I think the current run he's on right now, he is selling face masks. So you have to have some form of a plan when you're building your business. And your website is a part of that plan, but your website is not your whole plan. So I hope that was beneficial. I'll put the link to Theme Forest in here just so that you can do a little bit of research to kind of see what is happening in the space, to kind of get some ideas for your business. I mean, it seems like you're trying to build some form of niche job board for a particular area or a particular demographic. So you really want to plan out what that looks like, see how you can monetize it, because you don't want to just throw money and do something and not make money back. But I hope that was helpful for you, Kwacha.
Yeah, thank you. That was really helpful.
Awesome, glad it could help. All right, so it's 7:10. Okay, so the next question we have, I'm so sorry, but I forgot who asked this question, but it was finding out the differences between pages and posts, and just kind of like a general understanding of WordPress. Is the person who asked that question still in the room? I know a lot of people have come in and out. If you just want to like speak up or put something in the chat. If not, I'll just go ahead and answer the question anyway. Typically, when WordPress first came about, it was a blogging platform. And as such, you had blog posts where, you know, they're not the same thing, but they kind of are the same thing, but not really though. So as a blog, it was just like you had things like a blog roll, you had like search, etc. And the difference between pages and posts, in my personal opinion, is posts is more so, not specifically, but for the most part, it is for your blog, whereas pages are more so for the static pages on your site. So for example, your about page would be a page, whereas let's say you wanted to have a blog post talking about the top 10 artists of the decade, that might be a blog post. Your blog is something that's always changing. You might have evergreen content, which means content that doesn't change, just kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a staple in your content marketing strategy, but your blog is ever changing, or it should be ever changing. You're always adding new blog posts, always sharing more information, sharing your thoughts, etc. So that's the difference between pages and posts. And typically most people have in their main navigation bar on their website, they link to static pages for their website, and then their blog is a collection of all the blog posts on their website. I will give you an example. On my own company website, I think we have a blog, don't kill me. So we have our main homepage. This is Noy Designs, my company. So this is a page on our website. And then if you scroll down, we have various blog posts. So these are posts that we have and talk about things like the importance of video in your content marketing strategy, Shopify, etc. But when you come to our website, this will always change. For the most part, our work, services, about, etc., that doesn't change. So I would say that that's the main difference between pages in WordPress and posts. Posts are for the blog, pages are for your static content. I hope I was able to answer that question and the person didn't leave. Okay, next up we have a website audit for Val. Is Val still here?
Yes, yeah, I'm here. Sorry, my website is down. I'm having trouble reviving it. I can share my screen with you guys, and maybe you can help me like revive it through Education Host.
I still see it.
You see it? Okay.
Yeah, I still see it.
Then that's not bothering me.
Is it on Avada by any chance?
I'm sorry?
Is it on Avada/Avada?
I don't think so. It's supposed to be Astra, I believe.
Astra. All right, cool. Well, let's do an audit for you.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. So right off the bat, can you tell us a bit more about your business?
Yeah, sure. So I'm an engineer by training, and what I do right now is I sell 3D printed parts. So I design and custom 3D print parts, and then I ship it out to the customers. Before this, I used to just use Instagram and like Kijiji to sell stuff, but I need a website, and I'm using a website. That's not actually my website. That's the hosting website that I use.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, that my website is down. I use Education Host.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how to revive it right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so I was on the hosting website. So say, okay, so this gives us some understanding. To change this page, upload your website into the public_HTML directory. Per chance, have you like removed your website to maybe a subdomain or something like that?
No, I haven't changed the domain or subdomain.
Have you
I
moved the files for the WordPress anywhere?
So I did a what do you call it, a recovery, like a website
Okay.
recovery, because I installed 2 templates at once, and then I did a recovery, and it brought me to like a point where it worked, but then I log in today and it stopped working. I'm not sure why.
What did you use to do the backup and restore?
I used the actual hosting site, so Education Host.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what this error here is literally saying is that you haven't uploaded your website to your domain.
Well, and it's quite possible that you might just need to go in. It might be a DNS issue, that it might be there, but but for some reason their system isn't seeing the DNS entry correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So like check your domains and add-on domains inside of your account, and see if it's just pointing in the incorrect location.
Am I able to share my screen and show what I'm seeing from the side?
Totally can. Let me give you access to do that.
Awesome, thank you.
So I've given you access, and I've also requested keyboard and mouse control just in case.
Sure.
But go ahead. Please go ahead and share your screen, and then I think let's start at the web host. Okay, cool. So it's pretty simple.
Yep, there we go. I don't know if it's pretty simple. It's not the most simple tool that I've used. So if you can see over here. So the way I see it usually, sorry, I'm just trying to navigate the toolbars in the way. Anyways, so over here, when I try to log in, I go into the client area. And then inside the client area, I have basically, like, this is, from my understanding, the equivalent of the cPanel.
Yeah.
They call it something different. They call it like admin something.
It's all the same. Marketing.
Yeah, exactly. And then once I go in, I'm able to see, so this is my cloud host.
Okay.
And I'm able to see the following. So I'm able to see the DNS management. I'm able to see everything through here.
Right.
And then when I go, for instance, I already did the recovery. If I go into DNS management, I haven't changed the DNS settings. I haven't touched them, and it was working perfectly fine.
So go back to that admin dashboard and click on domains.
Okay. Domain setup or?
Yeah. And now what you should be able to do is I would hope that you could edit that. Usually when you can edit it, you can usually tell it where it's pointing. So this you don't have any add-ons, so go ahead and go to your file manager.
Would you like the FTP manager? Is that what you mean?
No, there should be like a file manager, an explorer, basically a way that you can look at where everything sits on your system. There you go, system info and files.
Okay.
And then you're going to look for your public HTML folder and just go ahead and click on that. It may just be your host that's having an issue.
Oh, okay. Usually they email me whenever they're down, but they haven't emailed me today, so I'm surprised. I have put in a ticket to them saying that,
well,
hey guys.
So it's not that they're down. What it looks like, just based on how long this is taking, that your server's overloaded. Because it should load a lot quicker than this.
Right.
Yeah. So this is one of the issues with shared hosting where it's just like, the way shared hosting works is you get like a computer and you slice it up lots and lots and lots of different times. And every person gets a little piece of the pie. But unfortunately, everybody's running something different on their piece of the pie. And so someone might have a coconut cream pie, someone might have a coconut pie, someone might have an apple pie, someone might have a Swiss roll. It's all so different and mangled together. So when now updates or situations where they need to make changes or edits, or God forbid, which is something that's horrible that happens quite often, someone gets hacked, it can affect all the pies in the kitchen. So Val, what it looks like is what's happening here is it definitely seems to be some form of server issue. But what I noticed when you went to the one-click installer was it said something about how something already exists.
That's right, this one. So when I try to log into my admin panel, it says that it was not found in the server, which is not the case. Like I'm sure, I'm sure 100% that that should be there.
Okay,
So
well,
go ahead.
did you in fact install WordPress into the WP folder inside of your system?
So no, not inside of my local system. It was on the cloud, like it was on the website. Right?
So try going to that address bar and just removing the WP before the WP admin.
Oh, that won't work. It's that. Let's give it a try. But I tried it before. It didn't work.
Can you FTP to your site instead of going to the file manager?
I don't think so. I haven't done that ever. I'm not sure how.
Okay, so to do that super quickly, you would have to create an FTP account. When you go back into the C panel, you would create an FTP. Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go. Wait. Yeah, there we go. That was a really long time. Yeah. So let's see what's happening in public_HTML. What's in here? Let's just wait for this to load up.
Sorry for the delay, guys. I'm sure it's not my system. It's the host.
Yeah. Okay, so truly, like I mentioned right at the beginning of this, there isn't a website uploaded onto your main domain name. So as you can see here, there's like a bunch of SHTML files, but there's no WordPress files here. So there is no WordPress installed on your domain. So that's issue number one you need to fix. When we're going to
no, it's been installed in a subdomain. It's partially been installed. There's your problem.
So Eric, let me finish, please. Thank you. So this is not an installation. So essentially nothing has been restored. There's a WP-content folder, and then there are no WordPress files in public_HTML. So what I would recommend, so literally from what we're seeing here, your website is not here.
I see. So I've tried to reinstall WordPress, and it says that the database, so the directory you're trying already exists, right? Let's say, sorry, how do I move this? So let's say I'm not going to install it in WP. I want to install it like originally. Quick install. So install. And then it tells me a database error. It says that the database is already full. So the maximum.
Okay, so do you have at this time a backup of your website?
I do, which I've already restored to. So as you can see over here.
Okay, can we take a look at that real quick just to see?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Let's just.
Okay, Eric. So you can go ahead with your comment.
Well, I was just saying that the your backup is corrupt, so it only did a partial restore.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I think the issue is. It seems like it had been corrupted. I'm not sure how, but when I do the restore, so I'm going to do it with you guys, it doesn't actually restore the website to that point, which is odd. So should I delete the other folders as well?
I mean, I hate to say it, but you're probably going to have to rebuild everything from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Eric.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I agree with Eric. It looks like the installation has been corrupted or has been corrupted either from the restore or even from the backup process. And you might be able to ask your host if they have something maybe going back 2 weeks, maybe. I'm not sure. I think that would be your last ditch effort to try and get something going. But if that doesn't work out, then unfortunately you may need to start rebuilding from scratch. And if that's the case, I'd recommend completely removing everything from the public_HTML folder, dropping the database, deleting that, starting completely from scratch. But I would reach out to your host and ask them if they can do both a file restore as well as a database restore from the past maybe 2 weeks or so, just to kind of give you some form of footing. And then if that doesn't work, then you may have to start from scratch, I'm afraid, Val.
Honestly, if there's one part of your website that you kind of don't want to do on the cheap, I would say, like in my experience, it would be getting it installed. Like if you need to hire someone, like your host may have packages available where they can install something. If I were you, like get it installed professionally, so at least it's there, because you will drive yourself insane, like I have in the past, with these folders and where the website is. And honestly, like get it installed professionally, and then you could work on it once it's up and once it's there and not moving. That's my opinion on that.
And I'm gonna take this as a good point to point out backups, at least 2, and at least one of them not being on your host. And if you haven't tested it, it doesn't count as an actual backup.
So that backup actually used to work. I tested it literally yesterday because I installed two templates onto each other, and then I backed it up. It worked perfectly fine. But then I'm trying to do it now and it doesn't work. If I were to do a fresh reinstall, Christina, you're saying, or Eric, maybe both of you can answer this. You're saying to basically delete all the files in public HTML?
Yeah, I'd recommend deleting everything in there so there's nothing holding you back or causing any issues with coding, etc.
Is it just in that folder or all of the folders to put together, like the whole?
Just the public_HTML folder, because that folder itself, which is the root level for your domain, had lots of files and folders in there. And then within that root folder, you also had that WP folder. So I'd remove everything inside public_HTML, only public_HTML, and then reinstall use the one-click installer to install back into the.
And your host does tell you that you're at your database limit, so you will have to delete your database as well before you can reinstall.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to ask. I'm gonna have to delete the database. And how do I delete a database? That's the other thing. It doesn't actually let me.
In the admin section, there's a place called databases, and there should be an option in there to just delete it. It varies based on host where exactly the button lies, but there is a button in there that lets you do it.
I see. And it would be like a MySQL database, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, I found it. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Val. You're welcome. Okay, so now we're going to answer questions in the chat. We have about 35 minutes. So he asks, I found a free theme which has a demo that I want to use, but when I create a child theme, I was required to import the 3 demo files manually. While if I use the parent theme directly, I can import the demo smoothly. Why? And how can I use the child theme? Thanks a lot. Were you able to let us know what the theme was so we could take a look at that, please? If you could, like, in the chat, let us know what the theme was, that would be very helpful. I'm just going to check one more time. I'm not seeing that. So we're just going to table that for now, but typically I've had this issue also, and hold on, let's see if there's something else in the chat. Okay, so Boris says, FTP is usually the way to upload more than one file to the server in batch. So you could try doing that. It sounds like probably the demo template is maybe an XML file. So that, I feel like that could be a bit tricky. One thing I could recommend, which is sometimes the easiest thing, but people, myself included, forget to do, is actually reach out to the theme developer. If it's a free theme, more than likely they might have a forum on the WordPress ecosystem. So I would ask them, hey, is somebody going through this issue as well? What could be the problem? A second issue could be you may need to talk to your web host about it, even though that is a less likely solution, but I have found that to be maybe an issue sometimes. But those two places could be the best places to start. So double check with the theme provider, double check on the WordPress forums to see if somebody else has had this problem with your WordPress 3 theme. Number three, check with your web host, specifically your PHP options, to see if you can upload something of that size. I hope that helps. Going next in the chat, Hannah, you had an Elementor related issue. So I know we have some people in here who love using Elementor. So I would love for you guys to come and support me on this, but Hannah, take it away.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, it's probably easiest if I share my screen. Can I do that?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. You should be able to share your screen now.
Okay, perfect. Share this guy.
I just wanted to ask everyone, I know it's 7:30 and we're supposed to end at 8, but we may run over. So if you have to go at a hard stop at 8, you can, but you will be running the meetup an extra 15 minutes longer, just to make sure that we can get everybody's questions answered. So if you need to go at 8, you can go, but we're going to go a little bit extra just to make sure that everybody has their questions answered. All right, thanks Hannah for sharing your screen. This looks beautiful.
Okay, not designed by me. We paid someone. This is my work's website. So this isn't the homepage. This is the page that I'm going to ask my question about. But as we scroll down here, there's this option to see more hardwoods. So when I am actually in Elementor, this doesn't open like it is. So I am going to, will it let me open my other page? Okay, so this, can you see Elementor now?
No, we don't see anything actually.
Oh. Okay, 1 second. I'm operating from a couple different screens. Bear with me.
No worries.
Okay, so share this screen. Okay, now is it showing how, like, on Elementor?
Yes, now we can see Elementor.
Okay, so first of all, I don't know why when I click that it goes all the way back up to the top, but because I don't know Elementor very much, I just want it, why doesn't this populate the same way it would, like, for the end user?
So what's happened? So just so I understand correctly, so the way it's showing up here in the back end of Elementor, it's not showing up like that on the front end?
Yes, exactly. So end user, this populates a bunch of new hardwoods when you click see more.
Okay.
Why is it going up? So I want to edit this.
Is this website live?
Pardon me?
Is this page live?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I'm gonna. And which page is this, please?
Floor sense.
Okay. Cool. All right, so what do so see more hardwoods.
Yeah,
So
when
when
you
I
click
click
it,
on see more hardwoods, it pops up all these hardwoods.
yes. So should that happen in Elementor? Because I need to edit those things. Again, I didn't create this website, so I just don't understand how to edit those. Like I need to update pricing or add new.
I don't really know Elementor that well, but from what I do understand of Elementor, it could be that it's using some form of a pop-up module / pop-up plugin or a custom post type to pull all that information into that. So if you go to edit the button, let's see what actions are on the button. So could you edit the button?
Again, it always rolls up to the top, but so like this is edit the button on the side.
What does it say for the link? Is there like a hashtag in front of that?
Yeah, it is. It says hashtag hardwood.
Okay. Could you click on the gear next to it so we can kind of see where that's being defined? In the navigator, is there any section that might point to be called hardwood?
No, it's not. Nothing's even labeled. They're just.
Can you actually go just to your dashboard?
Like back to the dashboard, sorry?
Yeah, to the dashboard itself.
Okay.
Okay, so on I'm on a small display, so I'm just trying to see your sidebar here. Do you have scroll through here and see if you've got a page that actually says hardwoods? Because it looks like
yeah,
there's
so I do have like we were on. So that's the page we were on. But then yes, there is a separate page outside of the one that we were like I'm trying to figure out that's called hardwood. So that might make that confusing.
So is that hardwood page a page? Like
It's a completely separate page from the one we were on.
Okay, cool. What's in the essential add-ons?
Oh, that's just a plugin for Elementor.
Okay, let's see what's in the plugins. Let's see if there's anything in there, because I know that because it's a pop-up, I feel like there might be some form of pop-up plugin at work here, because I know that with Divi we have a pop-up plugin and it uses a hashtag to kind of do that. Let's see what's going on here.
I clearly need to update things.
Yeah, girl. If you commented, that's cool. I was going to say something. Not child theme configurator. You might want to take a look at the child theme configurator plugin that's here. That could help as well as a sidebar. Could you scroll down, please? Respect.
You might also check under posts, see if this was set up weird with some kind of custom post type in there for something.
I feel like if it was a custom post type, we would be able to actually see it in the menu.
Well, it depends if it was done correctly or not. If it was something weird that was done by a theme or something.
I hope it was done correctly because they paid a lot of money for this website.
Unfortunately,
it looks really good. Wow. Okay, so as I'm looking at the code, it's definitely something made with Elementor.
Okay, so it's not coded. It's something in Elementor that I just can't figure out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's try and it's like, because I'm looking at the code and there's like Elementor section, Elementor column. So it's definitely something that it looks like it's some kind of a slideshow, which is kind of weird. What's Elementor Kit? Does anybody know what that is? Again, I'm not really familiar with Elementor, so anybody who uses Elementor,
it's another one of those add-ons. It's Elementor, like most of the page builders, there's 45 different things that you can add on to get the custom header or a pop-up or whatever.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Okay, so where do we find that?
What about under the templates on the left?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Let's go under there. Okay, so we got samples, sample
So
product.
yeah, look at either page or section up at the top.
Okay, so it says here samples, page, floor sense. If you go back, it's floor sense, right?
Yes.
Samples, floor sense page. Let's edit that. So it's a section. So I think this is where we're at. Boom, mama. There you go. So you should be able to edit all of this stuff.
So the only thing is, this doesn't necessarily match that page, because I have seen this before. This doesn't have prices when my floor sense has paid like prices on it.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so let's go in and edit one of them, and let's see if maybe it's pulling something from somewhere. So let's say, for example, if we edit that, could you go to text? I'm guessing that's the text that shows up there. Okay, can we scroll up? No, in the promo content, like if we can scroll up in the, just to scroll up for a second.
That's as far as I can. Yep, that's the top.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so let's go to advanced and let's see what's there. CSS class. I don't think it would be. Could it be that there's maybe another one of these within the templates and maybe it's not this one? So if you could go back to the templates.
Yes, okay.
Let's go back to that and maybe there might be another one. So it's definitely a section of some sort. So that should kind of help us whittle this down a little bit more.
Okay, that's a different page. Yeah, it's just confusing. Like you'd think because back to the floor sense page, it had like the hashtag hardwood. You'd think maybe one of these were called hashtag hardwood, but there isn't one.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. Yeah.
Go ahead and scroll up a little bit and try going to section instead of page. See if that trims it back and gives you a better choice to look at.
Yeah. No.
Nothing.
I think this just might be one of, because I feel like we're like on the cusp.
I think we were in this one. Yeah, again, we were in this one, but it doesn't match what was on the floor sense page.
Did you see this before?
I've tried looking at it all before, and it just doesn't add up to that floor sense page. What actually populates when you.
Let's just try something. Could you just like edit Belgium Praline and maybe just add like an S next to the name so we can kind of see if this is in any way connected? Just like something small, nothing too major. And let's see if it's actually connected or we have to look somewhere totally different. So you are right. They don't match up at all. Like it's not even the same.
Yeah, it's not even the same like colors and stuff, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so it's not at all. It's totally different. What about those two floor sense pages that we just saw?
Sorry, say that again?
Could we go back to the pages? I think we saw pages. There's like 2 pages. What's an Elementor?
Oh, I made temp because I was trying to figure out how I could edit that. So that is something I've created.
Interesting. What's under tools? Can you just hover over tools real quick? Schedule accents. Okay. And templates, the sections didn't have anything different in there?
There wasn't one that matches up with the floor sense page.
Okay, what's under pop-ups? I just saw that just now. So go into templates and then pop-ups. Let's see what's in there.
Again, I've looked at this before and they don't match.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That is, no, that does not match at all.
Yeah, this seems like something they were trying to do for the website, but we vetoed this and they never deleted it. If that makes sense to you.
Oh man. Yeah, it makes sense. I am really pulling a blank on here. What I'll do, and this goes for anyone else in here, is I'm gonna put my email address here, and you can reach out to me and we'll try and figure this out together. And that goes for anyone in here. Just all I ask is make sure you put Meetup in the title or else I will charge you. So make sure you put Meetup in the title or I will charge you.
Okay,
Great.
thank you for trying.
No problem, Hannah. No problem. Okay, so next up after Hannah is Paul. Okay, so I just changed my website from a Joomla to WordPress because I'm not good with Joomla, and that build was from years back. Great. My challenge is when I did the, wait, hold on, is Paul still here? Okay, Paul's here. My challenge is when I did the same thing with blackcanadians.com, I lost my SEO position, and now I'm not sure if I will use my SEO spot for changing. You will lose it, which I did last week. So how or what do I do to not lose my spot online? Right now you're kind of racing against time because you have to kind of rebuild that authority, or you should have kind of started doing that before you switched the domain over. I would recommend using some tools, some SEO tools to kind of see what was working, what wasn't working. A tool I like to use is SEM Rush. I'm going to put that in the chat to kind of let you know what's going on ranking wise with your website. When you change the URL, that's like a massive blow to your SEO, but you can salvage it. You got to do like a crap ton of redirects. You got to redirect your images. You got to check where your backlinks are coming from. SEM Rush will help you get started on that, but you do have a long road ahead for that. So that's the answer to question number 1. Do you need any clarification on that, Paul?
So when you say I need to keep the URL, does that mean that if I have, let's say I have something /XYZ, do we have to make that page exactly the same, link, as in it has to be / exactly the same thing, and the content have to be the same thing, and the images have to be saved with the same name?
I'm going to say no, but this is again, what you'd have to do to kind of maintain your rankings is you'd probably have to go in and create redirects for that. So let's say, for example, I know Joomla does, what's it? It has something funny in the index.php, I think. What you would have to do is either get a redirect plugin on WordPress and basically write that URL out, or your .htaccess file, write the URL out and basically forward it to the equivalent file on WordPress. So it doesn't have to be exactly the same, but you need to do that work, which is, I feel like I've never done it automatically. I've always done it manually, but you have to do that, or else if someone were to go back to that page, they're going to get a 404 error, which hurts you and brings your ranking lower. So you don't have, it doesn't have to be the exact same URL. I think it's even impossible to kind of do that with WordPress if you have index.php in the URL, but you can use a tool like Google Search Console, SEMrush to kind of figure out what is broken, what's missing, etc. And you have to do redirects, basically, where you're redirecting from what it used to be in Joomla to what it is now in WordPress.
Okay, so sorry, is there like a plugin or something you can use to kind of create like a redirect for all the links you don't use anymore?
Yeah, so I use 301 redirects and I use redirection. I'll put those in the chat. So those are the two plugins I use to do that for my sites as well as for my clients' websites.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. And question number 2. Not sure why the transparent header vanished from my website. I have a few websites that are all clones of each other, and now all the headers are not transparent or something strange happened. What theme do you use?
I can't even remember. I've used it a long time. I have to go in to check, but it's like I actually created a website and I cloned it to create my like several other websites, even though I still change them around. But I just realized, because I haven't really gone into update it for a while, I just realized that the transparent header wasn't transparent anymore. You know, so I was now changing, you know, I was still cloning another website from the same platform, and I just realized, you know, something has changed. Yeah, without me doing anything. Yeah.
It could be the theme updated, and you might have to go back into the theme and kind of figure out or find out what, maybe they've changed an option in the theme. That's the first thing that comes to mind. If I don't know what the theme is, it's kind of hard to kind of figure that situation out. But I would say double check the theme and see if they've maybe changed something. It could also be that maybe if you were using like a CSS class to kind of make the header transparent, maybe they've changed the name and therefore the code you used to kind of target that class is no longer in existence. So check your custom CSS, excuse me, check your custom CSS to kind of figure out if there's been any changes there, number 1. Number 2, double check with your theme to see if maybe they've made an update that removes that setting from your websites, and that should be able to help you with it for all your other sites.
And one thing to be aware of is some themes, when you and not just themes, some plugins as well, will put an actual path instead of a URL. So there'll be it'll be your public HTML /folder/ whatever instead of the actual URL when it's linking an image from somewhere, which can cause issues.
Yeah, roger that. +1 for that. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I think we have answered everybody's question.
I have one more question.
Sure.
Should I post it?
Oh, you can say it.
Okay. Okay, I'll post it and say it at the same time.
Oh wow.
Okay, so I had this company that wrote me like 2 years ago, or maybe 3 years now, saying I used their image and I needed to pay $300 and something. So I didn't respond, and I think they've written me twice, or maybe twice. Now they have another lawyer writing me because I've gone online to read from several people, and you know, some people say just ignore them, some say maybe pay them, and now they want like $2,000 something, and they're still asking for you know, even though they claim they manage copyright for, some people claim the right to so many people, and you know, just ignore them. And I don't know. No, the company is called Agents France Press. I think it's AP. I don't know. Maybe it's AP Press, as Associated Press or something. I don't know. It's called agency. It's like a French word. It's called. That's why I wrote it here. Infringement of agency France Press, and now they're using a very big law firm downtown to write this last message that came in. Yeah.
Okay, so this happened to one of my not clients. They were like a colleague of mine. They did, unfortunately, the same thing happened to them where it was Getty Images. And this is why it's really important to use websites like Unsplash and FreePic, not even FreePic, Unsplash and Creative Commons works in your stuff, because these people can come to you and say, hey, you used my photo, you now owe me XYZ dollars. I actually don't know how my colleague ended up resolving that issue. I think he did something similar to you, where he basically, I think he went a step further and actually took down all of his websites. I'm sure that's not something that's possible for you to do. I don't really have much experience apart from that. I mean, for me, when it comes to things to do with legal and the law, I always just, see if you can talk to somebody and be like, hey, man, what's going on? Like, I removed the photo a long time ago. Like, we're in a pandemic. Nobody has money right now. So, I would say contact the person and kind of see what's up. But I'm sorry, I don't have any other advice for you.
Yeah, because now what they did was, not only did they write me the last time, they also sent copies to all the board of directors, because it's like a non-profit. So they send the letter to, so now it's not just me ignoring, I kind of have to, open up to everyone else to, because it's like the kind of, it's kind of like an harassment, trying to make everyone feel, oh, are they going to sue us, or what's going on? Should we pay up? Yeah. The law firm.
I'll pray for you, but it's always better to confront these things as opposed to like letting them just go away. But I did also do a quick Google, and it seems like it's something they do quite frequently, and a lot of people have different conflicting views. Maybe if you're a nonprofit, see if you can have a lawyer help you guys pro bono to kind of figure out the situation, just to kind of save face. And yeah, but you know what? It's funny enough, we were able to make time. It's 7:55. We're able to get through everyone's questions. Last call. Is there anyone else who has any other things they need help with on their website today? I know a few of you came in after we did the intros. If you'd like to share anything, please remember, you can always reach out to me via email. My info is in the chat, info@christinagwira.com or christina@noyadesigns.com. And if you're looking for assistance one-on-one, or if you would like to have continuous ongoing support for your website, I do have support plans on my Patreon, as well as tutorials starting from as low as $15 per month. So PHP 8, oh, Doug, you came back. I was looking for you, but I couldn't find you. Okay, PHP 8, the floor is yours. You have some time.
Well, basically, back in September, I tried upgrading to PHP 8 on my hosting site, and they, because WordPress recommended it. But when I did that, then WordPress wouldn't start up, because there were some assumptions made about the references, and they were using defaults, and now PHP wouldn't accept defaults anymore. I'm wondering whether the version 5.6 is looking after all of those problems, or whether I'll still have a problem when I upgrade to PHP 8 on my host.
Are you talking about WordPress 5.6 or?
WordPress 5.6, yes. Right now I'm running PHP 7.
So WordPress 5.6 has beta support only for PHP 8. The current best option for PHP for compatibility is going to be 7.3.
Okay.
Even though 7.4 is the latest 7 branch,
Okay.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of plugin developers and theme developers that are a little behind on that. So 7.3, it's supported for a good period of time still. I believe it's the end of this year. 7.3 has support.
Okay.
So 7.4 will be the end of next year. So I would not rush to go to 8.
Good. That basically answers my question, because that's the feeling I was getting from what I was reading was this beta stuff, and then I'm not sure whether the host allowed me to choose different levels of 7 or not, but I know.
They should allow you to do that.
I know 8.
I think even some of them, crazy people, are still allowing you to use 5.6 PHP. So you should be able to pick your PHP version.
To really scare you, some will allow you to use 5.4. Yes, exactly. There's one particular host that defaults to 5.4 still. Yes. But if you're going to use 7, try to go 7.3. That's the oldest one that still has any support.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, everyone. So we have come to the natural conclusion of today's meetup. This was, wait, hold on. We have one more question. So if you could you let us know what the name of the theme is so we could answer that question regarding the child theme? Do you want to give us the name of your theme?
Looks like
oh, great, we can hear you now. Awesome. Hi.
Yeah, just yeah, sorry. It seems working now, the audio. Yes, I tried to use the free theme that is called the photography, PHOTO, PHOTO, yeah, PHOTO, GIAPH.
Okay.
If you, maybe I have no time to share my screen, you can just find it.
Okay, we're going on an extra 15 minutes. So if you have, so let me just do the official closing, and if anyone wants to stay longer, we can do that. So everyone, I wanted to thank you so much for coming to today's meetup. It was a blast. I had so much fun. I hope young people from MACA, you got to kind of see what it's like being a web designer or an entrepreneur managing your own website. And we'll get into more of that starting next week. As always, if you do need to reach out, my website is christinagwira.com. There you can send me an email. You could join my Patreon for ongoing support. And you can also see all the other meetups I'll be hosting and speaking at. So that is the official conclusion. We're going to go for another 15 minutes just to kind of get some last minute questions taken care of. But if you have gotten everything you need, you're more than free to go. And thank you so much for being here. Oh, lastly, check back to christinagwira.com for the recording, as well as for all the notes of tonight's session. So we have like all the links, all the everything in the chat. And so we're going to download that, and that's downloaded onto my website, and we upload the recording for the meetup onto YouTube so you can come back and check if you need to. So that's the official conclusion. If you'd like to stay behind, you totally can, but we're going until 8:15 max because I have to catch a bus at 8:21. All right, so Yi, floor is all yours. Let me let you share the screen. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate that. So I've given you access to share the screen. Thank you, Paul. Yes, please do email me or visit my website. It's my full name. Yi, you can share your screen. Yeah, perfect. So are you doing your website on localhost? Okay. Okay. So it looks like you're okay, cool. All right, so let me see if I can try and figure this out. So it looks like you're using Astra. Does anybody here have experience with Astra? Anyone?
I've used Astra.
Awesome. So Kathy, it seems here that he is also, from what I'm seeing here, I'm trying to. Yeah.
He wants to upload the child theme, the Astra child
So
theme.
he's trying to install the one-click demo import for Astra. But what seems to be happening is when he installs a child theme for Astra, then the one-click demo import fails. Do you have any maybe experience with that?
Probably, let me just explain. Yeah, when I use the Astra, if I go with the child theme, if I want to download the template, not a problem. Now, the problem I have is I'm not using the Astra theme. I'm using the photography theme. And when I use the child theme of the photographer, and they have the demo, then I cannot import the demo to my child theme. But I'll switch to the parent theme photographer. The demo can be imported to my site. So I don't know why, because I just compared with the Astra. Astra works fine, but this one doesn't.
Well, you know, this is demo content. You can import it anywhere and you change your theme and the content is still going to be there.
Yeah, if I use the parent theme, it works fine. It can import it well. But if
right.
But
there's demo content. It's like pages and posts and images, right?
Right.
Those don't leave your site when you change your theme. So why not just import them under the parent theme and then activate your child theme so that you can look at them with that theme?
I tried when I imported from the parent theme, I mean this demo, and then switched back to the child theme. It still shows that you have to import it manually with 3 separate files. I don't know how to get that files. We cannot just after using the.
Just navigate off of this page and ignore it, because if you've already imported it, you don't need to import it again.
Okay, but how can I work on my child theme instead of work in the parent theme?
Okay, so once you activate the child theme, go into your pages and just pull them up, and you should see those demo pages that you imported. Now I will throw something out here. As we were talking about those copyright emails and things like that, you do not have a license to use the images that you load under the demo content on a live site.
Yes.
I'm throwing that out for the whole group.
So I'm not using that images. I'm just using their layout or something like that.
So just navigate over your pages, and it's all already imported, and you should be able to just put your images in and be on your way.
Oh, okay. I will give a try. I never. Yeah. Thank you so much. But yeah, the problem struck me is when I use the Astra, and when I use the child theme of Astra, that's no problem about this parent template or child's template, they are working fine. So that's why I just feel weird. But now you mentioned that if I imported from parent theme, I mean the demo, and then go back to activate the child theme, and then go back to check this page again, you said it should be there, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, it should be there.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yes. Yeah,
You're
that's
welcome.
good. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate you taking the
I
time.
appreciate so much. Yeah, it stuck me a lot. Just beyond my understanding, I know that the child theme doesn't have the full coding from the parent. I thought maybe that could be reasonable, but when I compare with the answer, it works. So that confused me a lot. But you said it's already there, then that makes sense. That's great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Are there any other questions for the last 6 minutes? No? Okay, well, I'm going to stop the recording.